Hey everybody, I wanted to invite you into the studio today for a Chatty soap pour video. So let's get into it. Hey guys, thank you for joining me today. Today we are making a lavender soap bar. So what you see me doing right now is just mixing. I separated my colors, and I had like this very soft, very nice purple, and I just did like a simple in the pot swirl kind of technique, which is my go-to technique for soap making, but this is a lavender soap that I'm making. Lavender is one of our better selling soaps that we have. Very popular, very relaxing, very soothing. It's a great bar soap. I know a lot of people tend to gravitate more towards my naturally scented soaps, and so that's kind of what I make the most of, just for context. So I just had this very nice soft purple that I wanted to use, and it turned out great in this bar of soap. And so I just did like an in the pot swirl and kind of just mixed it up a little bit, nothing fancy to it. I tried to kind of play with it and spread out the purple on top a little bit, but then you'll see eventually it got to the point where it's not enough. So I end up going back and texturizing this soap a little bit. I just couldn't see it flat and just like in the molds, because none of my other soaps are just like flat and in the mold like that. But I decided to, go back and switch that up a bit because it just wasn't doing it for me. Very nice though. The purple is subtle in there, but it's definitely nice. So here you just see me do my regular little design top. This is my go-to. To the point, it gives a little bit of texture on the top of the soap. I'm not all that fancy when it comes to my natural soaps or anything like that. If I do anything fancy, it'll be what you see right here, where I'm just adding a few botanicals and just to make it look pretty. So yeah. So I like for my soaps to set up for about 24 hours before I unmold them and cut them into bars. Typically, I guess you could wait about 18 hours, but for me, I prefer 24 hours. That way it don't feel messy or like it didn't set up well coming out of the mold. I'm not smushing the edges or anything. To me, that feels like if I'm taking it out of the mold and it starts to squish the edges, definitely needs more time to set up. So 24 hours works for me and my recipe. And in my soap bars, I like to cut them about 1.25 inches thick. And for any of my soaps that has botanicals, if you see, like when you see me cutting, I have it on its side. That's to prevent the dragging of those small lavender buds on the very top. Like it'll drag across, as you can see on that little spot there. It can drag across, and you don't want that all in all of your soaps. Like it happens, but it's avoidable. So that's why I cut it on the side. If you watch other soap makers, you'll see when they have botanicals, they lay it on the side to cut to avoid those drag lines in there. So while I'm cutting the soap, I just wanted to talk about some upcoming things that I'm preparing for, or events that I'm preparing for. I have a really big event happening in a few months that I am restocking for. So, when it comes to restocking soaps, especially for like events, I like to have enough time to, make it, let it cure, and still allow, if people are ordering online or in person, even, because I still make in-person sales, I'll still get phone calls from people that's just like, oh, hey, do you have any of this and that? And I can kind of make sales like that, but I like to account for what I'll be needing for my markets, as well as what may sell online and in person. So I spend a lot of time restocking what is always on my website versus creating new. I do create new soaps, but most of the time I'm creating it in small batches. Like if I'm trying out a fragrance for the first time, I like to make it in what I call like a sample loaf size. It's like a 6-inch loaf, maybe like 6 by 2 or whatever, just so I can get that fragrance and see how it performs in soap. That's typically what I'll do as far as like new scents, but here lately it's just been restocking what's already available on my website and what I normally take to events. And what I normally take to events are the more natural soaps. They just do better. Okay, so this is the finished cut bars of soap. I wanted to show how one of the lobes had more purple color than the other. I'm not mad at it by no means, because sometimes that just happens, and it reflects what the soap is either way. You wouldn't notice anyways. Like if you were ordering online, you wouldn't notice this. I tend to take pictures. I would take pictures of the one that has the more purple, just because it's gonna give, what I'm trying to give from it being a lavender soap. So here's just the close-up version of what I was saying, how one is more darker, or one has more purple than the other. This soap smells so good, y'all. So it's going to sit on a curing rack for the next 4 weeks, and it should be ready maybe mid to late February. Here are a few pictures, and I hope you guys enjoy